Good evening, everybody. It's your pal Martin Metalhead here. Hope you're going well. I just found out a couple of days ago the 2021 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees were announced, and they got a mixed bag of artists, I can tell you that. Now, let me get into my Safari browser. So, from the top of the list, there's like at least over 15 that have been chosen. There's Jay-Z, Carole King, Tina Turner, Mary J. Blige, Kate Bush, Devo, The Foo Fighters, The Go-Go's, Iron Maiden, Chaka Khan, Fela Kuti, LL Cool J, New York Dolls, Rage Against the Machines, Todd Rundgren, Dionne Warwick. Now, every year they ask the public to vote for 5 artists, but the funny thing was, even if the person on the fan ballot gets number 1, they don't always get inducted, because last year Dave Matthews Band won the fan ballot and didn't get inducted. So my 5 votes for this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame are the following. I choose, no brainer, Iron Maiden. Always loved Iron Maiden. I saw them live many years ago in Sydney. I bought a lot of their albums when I was in my 20s. They should be inducted before you induct a band like Slayer or Megadeth. Number 2, the New York Dolls, right? They're a glam rock band from New York City, and they were popular around the same time as Kiss. But Kiss turned out to be way popular. New York Dolls went on to influence bands like Twisted Sister, Motley Crue, and all the other glam bands from the 1980s and onwards. So they should be inducted. Number 3, Kate Bush. No brainer. Kate Bush should be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She's not a diva. She's a talented musician. She's played a lot of instruments. She's written her own music. She's beautiful. But even though she lives in a hidden life away from the public eye, it would be nice if she would get inducted. But I kind of believe she will not show up and pick up the gong in New York City when the ceremony happens, because she's really a secluded person. Number 4, Todd Rundgren. Now, I don't know much about this guy's music, but one of my best friends, George, he's a big fan of Todd. And Todd's been nominated for the last few years, and also Todd did work on Meatloaf and all these other different musicians in the 70s, 80s, and he's still churning out music this very day. So he should be put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the final one, I'm just going to say, which will kind of shock you all a little bit, alright? I could vote for Rage Against the Machines or Foo Fighters, but I don't think 90s bands should be inducted really now. I would like to cast a vote for Carole King. Now, Carole King has been inducted as a songwriter with her other songwriter partner, like Jerry, whatever his name is. So Carole King was inducted 1990, but only for songwriting, not for Tapestry or any of the other music she's made since the 70s. So Carole King should be inducted. I also think it's really slack that they're only inducting 5 a year, because if you ask me, they could induct Carole King, Tina Turner, and Dionne Warwick, and Kate Bush in all in 1 year. And just maybe Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, maybe you should just induct 10 artists a year, and then you start going through the backlog of artists who've been snubbed for over 25 years. I mean, think about it. I've been campaigning for 15 years to get Duran Duran inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it hasn't happened yet. And because basically there's always every year they say, oh, we'll pick a whole bunch of heavy metal bands, we'll pick a whole bunch of new wave bands, we'll pick some prog bands, we'll pick some divas, and then we'll pick some instrumentalists and all. Yeah, and also I don't expect for any extreme metal artist to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, yeah, Metallica is the only thrash band that has been inducted, but I kind of believe that all of the prog rock giants of the 70s, they should be inducted way before Dream Theater and Queensryche. And I've always said this one thing, alright? If Kylie Minogue was to be inducted before Dream Theater, I would convert to Shia Islam, or Hasidic Judaism. But I don't really see that happening, because you have to be kind of popular in America to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and if you're not that popular, they won't choose you. It's like Sandy Denny and Fairport Convention, right? Sandy Denny's song, Who Knows Where the Time Goes, was covered by Nina Simone. Nina Simone's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but why isn't Sandy Denny? Sandy Denny should have been inducted in the 90s. But it's people who run that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they have really good closed minds, and they don't really care so much about certain artists. I mean, even Johnny Clegg, a white Zulu, an British man who migrated to South Africa and sang in Zulu and became fluent in that language. He should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and so should Black Lady Smith Mambo. Just I mean, AC/DC is the only Australian band that's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Go figure. Why isn't In Excess? I mean, not all nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Or why have they not inducted Lynn and John, even though Pat Benatar rocks more than ONG? Anyway, I'm Martin the Metalhead. Over and out.